Week 14 electric football. Nobody's watching, so we're just going to knock this the hell out. By the way, if anybody has a power sander I can borrow for about 10 minutes, please send it into the Cosmo Club in Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
It's Tuesday. Bring it over by 1.
Yeah,
It's 10
by,
of 1.
by now. Jags at Titans. And I got to tell you, I watched the Titans, and they were not impressive against the Jets. The Jets gave them that game. I didn't see the Jags-Colts game. Very impressed by the
Didn't
fact
see a
that,
lot of it, yeah.
that they shut out the Colts. Yeah, I saw the highlights. That's it. Not impressed by the fact that they only scored 6 points. I expect the Titans to win this because they still have a little bit of hope, and they are at home. Stu.
Yeah, I agree. Jags were a 6-0 winner against the Colts, which was the shock of the week to me, that Andrew Luck came down to earth against a Jags team that seems to be dipping. But, yeah, I got the Titans here, too. Just a little bit better on offense. Defense, not so great. Titans.
I don't know about shock of the week when the Packers lost to the Cardinals.
Well, yeah, all right.
Or Giants beating Chicago.
That was a shock.
All right, so you're the Jaguars, right? You got to replace Bortles, clearly. I mean, you got Cody Kessler playing. Who do you want? Do you want Eli? Do you want Flacco if they give up on him for Lamar Jackson? Or do you want Bridgewater? If I gave you those three choices, who would you take?
Today, I would probably take Eli.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was thinking Flacco, except for the injury concern.
He's always out. That seems to be the problem of late. And Teddy, where the hell is he?
Injury, he's backing up Drew Brees. Injury concern and
He ain't letting go.
injury concern, but he's got youth on his side.
Yeah.
And and I have a little soft spot for Teddy Bridgewater. Supposedly a great guy, was a good Viking. God bless you, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, but if the Jags were close last year, if they had a guy like Eli, I think they would have won.
Yeah, so the question is, and we're open to suggestions in the comments on who
They can have Tannehill if they'd like.
I think I'd put him fourth on that list. Speaking of the Jets at the Bills, and this is supposed to be Sam Darnold's return, except the Jets, as are the Jets' ways, are like, I don't know if we got him enough practice reps and blah, blah, blah. Get him back in the game if he's healthy. He goes up against Josh Allen. I think they lose anyway. Bowles is as lame duck as Ben McAdoo was. I mean, it's horrible to see that poor man trotted up to the press conference nowadays. Like, it's okay, Todd. It's going to be all right. You're never going to work in the NFL again, but you'll get to work.
Joe Philbin's a coach again. Go figure.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about that. So I'm taking the Bills on a quarterback that's playing a little bit better versus Darnold, who hasn't been playing. Jets undisciplined and giving away games that they should win, and a lame duck coach in the case of
Yeah,
Bills.
and you know what? The Bills' defense played very well against Miami for the most part on Sunday, and they're home. I mean, the Bills at home in a divisional game typically goes in favor of the home team. I can't see the Jets playing any heart anymore.
No, especially on the road.
And I think Josh Allen will run all over the Jets. He torched us.
I believe he will. Giants at Washington, and I got to tell you, bad week for Washington with the whole. They pick up Reuben Foster like as soon as they possibly can. They claim him off waivers. Then they trot out Doug Williams to try and explain it, and then he has to explain his explanation. And then when you get in trouble for saying something inappropriate about battering women, the first thing you start doing is you start listing women in your life. I got a mother. I got a mother. I was not hatched from an egg. I got two sisters. What does that prove? That the guy that batters the woman has a mother and might have sisters too. It's funny to me that the playbook is just start naming women.
Yeah.
I dated 700 women and I have a lot of respect for 4 of them. I mean, what the hell? Saquon Barkley won that game for the Giants on a crazy run that they were running out the clock, and he said, "Oh hell no." There were questions around here whether he was the right pick or they should have gone quarterback. You can argue that they should have gone quarterback, and I'll listen to it. But man, he is one hell of a player. Yeah. He has taken over a leadership role on that team that OBJ and Eli seem to have just been I can't do this. He's becoming the face of the Giants. The Redskins have a real problem in that all of their offensive guards are hurt. Every single one of them. I thought they were going to bring out a long snapper and then a punter to be interior linemen.
And their quarterbacks are breaking China in a glass shop.
Poor Colt McCoy. Wasn't he knocked out of the championship game in college too? And then he's waited 12 years to get another shot. He played for the Browns briefly. And then,
He's
You know,
had
and
several teams, I think.
that's the end of everyone's career if you quarterback the Browns. And then like he gets a shot finally, and maybe we got a shot at the playoffs, and it's a freak injury because he's on the ground rolling, and his leg just whips into the guy's leg, and you see it do a like
Yeah.
a whoop whoop, and he tried to play through it. I mean, a tough little mug. So feel bad for Colt, but the Giants are going to go on the road, win this, and the team from Washington is out of NFC
Agreed.
East
Yep.
contention.
I like the Giants here as well.
Alrighty.
Saints, and I can't read that. Bucks.
Saints at Bucks, and no, the Cowboys did not make a blueprint for how to beat the Saints. Every team has a bad game or two during the
It's
season,
been a
except
season of craziness.
for the 72 Dolphins,
We
right?
never had a bad game.
But you look at the Bucks defense and you go, even if there was a blueprint, they can't read architectural drawings. There's no way there's no way they're holding down the Saints this game. Saints long rest, needing a win, not going to have a 2-game losing streak. Not to the Bucks. Sorry, take the Saints easy.
I got a lot of upsets this week, and this is one of them.
Wow.
I think Tampa Bay can beat the Saints on the road here.
How?
The Saints are away. You know how I love the Saints away, and typically this season they've done very well. Except the Bucks just beat the Panthers, and that's a pretty good team. And granted, not the offensive juggernaut that the Saints are, but this is a season of quirky outcomes, and I think this is going to be one of them.
I might argue that the Panthers are not a pretty good team right now. They're on a 4-game losing streak. I mean, they've got named players, Cam and Christian and all
Olsen's
that.
gone now.
Yeah, and by the way, love Greg Olsen, North Jersey guy. One of those Walter Payton Man of the Year nominees. So do feel bad about him too.
Yeah, he keeps going out. That's the problem with him. He's never on the field long. I'm taking an upset here with the Buccaneers.
Okay, we got Pats Dolphins. I now hate the Pats too, but go ahead, Stu.
Taking another upset here. Dolphins Patriots
Wow.
of late have had each other's number at home. I can't explain it. I think the Dolphins are horrible. Had Charles not had hands of clay on Sunday, the Bills would have won that game.
I like what you did there.
But here was a former Dolphin primed to beat the Fins, and he was like a yard short of where the ball landed. It was a freak loss for us. For the Bills, I mean, it was a freak loss because they should have won that. Nobody should be that wide open. We got torched in yards, we got torched in everything else, and yet we won. This is a season of upsets. Dolphins have performed very well against the Patriots at home. It's at home. It's going to be nice. I'm taking the Dolphins in an upset.
I'm just going to go against you on
Just on principle.
pure. No, having watched them, like
They're horrible.
They really dismantled the Dolphins?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I'm talking about the Patriots. The Patriots really dismantled the Vikings once again.
Yeah, they're at home. Wah. They're always home.
I know, but it was a game where we had every reason to compete. We saw that Chicago had lost. We still had a shot at the division, and the Patriots made all the plays they needed to make. And they really, once again, the final score wasn't as bad as the actual game was for the Vikings. They were out of that game by the second half.
And Miami was doubled in yards and won.
Yes.
Freakish year. Boom. Fins.
Ravens at Chiefs, and talk about having a bad week. Kareem Hunt. I did not watch the video yet, and I may not watch the video. I'm kind of tired of watching running backs punch out women. And it does seem to be running backs, right? Mixon, Rice, Hunt. Wide receivers are divas. Running backs knock women out.
Yeah. It was not
saw it.
Ray Rice video. I mean, it was clearly nowhere near that.
Mm-hmm.
My issue became after the first shove. It was literally a shove. And his friends tried to restrain him, and good for you guys. I mean, they were really trying to pull him back. But he kept going. He kept coming back for more.
He was breaking tackles.
He was breaking tackles, and the girl had been not hit by him. He pushed somebody who fell into her, but you could clearly see her hit her head on like the door jamb, and she's woozy. She's trying to get up, and he kicks her. Not hard, just kind of takes her feet out from under her. And the fact of the matter is, all right, you push the girl. I'm like, okay, she came back for more. He could have at least stopped at that point. But what he did was he kept going after her, and he lied. He lied all the way through until the video surfaced.
He swept the leg.
Yeah, he swept the leg. Yeah.
Cobra Kai or whatever that is. Mercy is for the weak.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, and I guess teams have learned from the Reuben Foster fallout, though. What is that? Bad publicity? Did they lose ticket sales? I don't know. But he just cleared waivers. Hell of a talent.
someone's picking him up.
You think?
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to take some. I mean, somebody is. Who's picking him up then? That becomes the question.
He will play again in the NFL.
Okay, I know. I believe you. So, trying to go from the negative, huge negative, Kareem Hunt, and yeah, that happened in February. Once again, the NFL, who brought in all these experts, and we're going to handle these things better, couldn't get the video. I don't even think they interviewed her.
They didn't interview anybody, from what I understand.
Yeah.
None of the friends, nothing.
Help me. How hard is this? There is a fight. In high school, when there was a fight, you ran to everybody and went, who won the fight? What happened in the fight? Tell me about the fight. That's all the NFL has to do is act like they're little high schoolers and run, tell me about the fight.
Business, baby.
Yeah, but it's worse business. The cover-up is worse than the crime. It's worse business when this comes around again and again and again.
But you can't
if I was the NFL, no, you can't. If I was the NFL, I would eliminate the position of running back. That would get rid of domestic violence completely. Lamar Jackson, having another good game, may have earned the he may be pushing Flacco and his bad hip out the door. Did put the ball on the ground a couple of times. They got it back 2 out of the 3 he fumbled, I think. But that is a concern in this game. It's these could be 2 of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch for a very long time in Mahomes and Jackson. If Jackson can stand up to the beating, I would say that Mahomes has a much better shelf life right now.
And he has a better cast of characters around.
Oh, yeah, offensively. Oh, no question. So it's the Chiefs at home against a great Ravens defense. I'm taking the Chiefs to just overwhelm them, even without, Hunt. They got Chikendrick
West came back, and I think, who was that big guy? The South African dude.
The Nigerian Nightmare? Christian Okoye.
I think he's coming out of retirement.
He's back.
God, I wish I could remember things at 57 years old.
Yeah, it's bad when you get old.
Yeah, the Chiefs, I think, will clearly win this and win it early. As good as the Baltimore defense is, this is the best, if not the second best offense in the league. Chiefs.
Okay. Colts at Houston. If you go back and check last week, I was all about Luck and the Colts and the offensive line's going to, hold up against the Jaguars, and I was wrong. But on Houston, I've been right because I've been running the winning streak, and it's now up to 9, and I think it's going to 10 in a row. They're at home. Their defense is healthy. They will be able to pressure Luck. They will be able to contain him in the pocket with their speed. I don't see what Doyle and Ebron are both out, unless I'm mistaken on that. So you're basically down to one wide receiver that Luck can throw to. They're not going to run on the Texans. Give me the Texans at home. 10 in a row, baby. Deshaun Watson.
Not only Deshaun Watson, but Lamar Miller is having a hell of a season right now. And how the Dolphins gave up on him other than for money is beyond me. I mean, that 99, he outran the entire defense last week on the 99-yard touchdown.
You've given up on some good running backs recently.
We give up a lot of talent to other teams because our front office blows.
You're like a feeder system to the real pro teams.
Yeah, really, we are. We're going to be in the AAF or whatever that's called starting in February. There's no reason to not take the Texans here. As good as Luck is, he literally has no one around him anymore to help him. Especially with I think Ebron out is huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Texans.
All right, we got Falcons at Green Bay, 2 of the most disappointing teams of the year.
Yep.
McCarthy out. Falcons are going to be on the coaching carousel as well. Aaron Rodgers has now become the GM, evidently.
Yeah.
Like, McCarthy, you're out. Philbin, you got a shot. Here's your audition.
At least Lambeau Field will be clear of gum wrappers, so good for the Packers.
But, I mean, a lot of Clay Matthews is getting older. Their defense does not get the kind of pressure, especially push up the middle, that it once did. Their wide receivers, Devontae Adams is pretty much it.
Yeah.
You can't say that it's McCarthy's fault. And if I was looking for a coach, I would certainly, I'm not giving Todd Bowles another look, but I would certainly give Mike McCarthy a shot again.
Yeah, someone said, McCarthy's not that great. He had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and won the Super Bowl. What team wouldn't take that?
Yeah, the Vikings would.
They're in the playoffs every year. You have a shot every year. Imagine being the other 18 to 20 teams that haven't sniffed the playoffs in years.
Yeah.
I'd take McCarthy tomorrow.
Okay, there we go. So I'm taking the Packers
As am I.
in this one just because they're at home. But
And they rebound here.
there you go. So what do we got? We got the
Panthers,
Panthers at
Browns.
the Browns. And speaking of exciting QBs, Baker Mayfield makes things happen. Sometimes they're good things. Sometimes they're 3 interception bad things. But the kid has come in and shown a kind of moxie, of fearlessness that most Browns quarterbacks, especially their high draft picks, I mean, no offense to these guys. Well, some offense to these guys. A lot of offense to these guys.
Very offensive.
You think of like Tim Couch and you think of Brady Quinn. They were timid.
Mm-hmm.
They were, they were not presences on the field. Mayfield and Manziel was just a nut job, but Mayfield is what they hoped Manziel was going to be.
Exactly, you're right.
And all you need to do now is develop him well. And I don't know if the Browns are capable of that or not. But as I said before, the Panthers are on a 4-game losing streak, so they went from 6-2 to 6-6. And you think of them as a very good team because of the names, but they're not playing like a very good team right now. I'm taking the Browns in an upset here.
Wow, the one upset I'm not taking this week because I just think the Panthers are a better team. I do like Baker Mayfield, and for Cleveland to have made that call and grabbed him with the first pick, a lot of scratching of the heads.
Gutsy call,
But-
especially with all their failures at QB.
Now, if they had a coaching regime that could really put this team to the next level, because they've got all the talent in the world, man. They're just not exploiting it, and I do think the Panthers win here. But I think the Browns, with a change of management, at least at the coaching level, are playoff bound next year.
Oh, they're headed in the right direction. Their recent high draft picks are panning out, which has never happened for the Browns.
Yeah.
And 4 wins so far this year. I'm giving them 5 this week. I mean, if you're a Browns fan, that's a freaking bonanza.
No kidding.
We got the Broncos at the 49ers, and I can't say this guy's last name. For some reason, I just don't have it right. Matt Breida, he's out. I believe it's a foot, but he is out. And that is the last of San Francisco's offensive talent. Talk about a war of attrition. San Francisco has gone through it just like, quarterback, running back, it's just everybody.
We have Garoppolo. He's out. We're doomed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, then we have Beathard. He's out. We got Mullins. We got my brother-in-law, Joe Mullane. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
One thing that people, and I was looking at this today, Von Miller is rapidly climbing up the all-time sack list. Like, you don't realize how good Von Miller is. So him and Watt came into the season at the same to the league, in the same season. And Miller's got like 96 sacks, and Watt's got like 87.5. They're really rapidly climbing up the all-time sacks list, and it's fun to watch. And
Miller's healthier. That's why he's probably got more.
he's got about 16 more games in.
Yeah.
If you average out, somebody do the math for me. If you average it out, Watt probably has a slightly higher, like 0.1 sack per game more than Miller, and Watt has had more dominant seasons with 2 20-sack seasons. But Miller has been consistent, and that's to be an all-time sack leader, you have to be consistent for 230 to 240 games. You have to get a sack or 2 sacks, week in, week out. And Von Miller is doing it. And, he does get he gets some TV, he gets a little love, but I don't know if people appreciate him as much as they should, especially now with like Aaron Donald having such a monster season and J.J. Watt being such a big personality. Miller gets lost in the mix there a little bit, but a lot of love for Von Miller, a lot of love for Case Keenum, and a lot of love for the Broncos to easily beat San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy game to pick. If it's a lock, there's a lock. It would be this week, even with Denver being on the road. But there's 2 teams that are, at least on the East Coast, are not talked about a lot, that are quietly pushing other teams out of the playoffs, and that is the Broncos and the Chargers.
I knew there's a
I keep forgetting the Chargers are this good. They're
next game, baby. Next game.
Yeah, okay, so we'll move on. Broncos.
Okay. Bengals at Chargers. Go, Stu.
Well, here's a team that's quietly on the East Coast. No one's paying attention to, and all they're doing is winning. They haven't had the big victory. I don't think they beat the Chiefs when they played them.
No, I don't believe so.
But you know what? You don't have to beat them in the regular season if you're winning 12 other games or 11 other games, and they're on pace for at least 11, I would think. They've got 9 wins. They got 9 wins.
Chargers. I should know this off the top of my head. Chargers. I don't know.
Not-
Keep
I-
going.
they've at
9
least-
and 3.
9-3. They're gonna win this game, obviously, in my opinion, especially with AJ Green done for the season and possibly for his career. I certainly wouldn't go back to the Bengals if I were him. But so they're 10-3, and we're all talking about the Eagles over here. We're talking about the Giants and all these other teams. Wake up, or what are they? Los Angeles now?
They're not even sure where they are.
Yeah, who
They're
cares?
just a commuter
The West
team.
Coast Chargers are quietly coming in here and winning the games that they have to win. I don't know how strong they are versus a Kansas City or a Patriots in the playoffs, but they're going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to host a playoff game, likely in the wild card round. I'm certainly taking the Chargers here. And Antonio Gates, you never cease to amaze me. Did you see his bumbling, like 40-yard reception? This guy looks to be 75 years old. He's out there with a walker, pushing guys away. Oh, get out of my way.
As soon as he's
Antonio
done,
Gates.
he puts on the mustard Hall of Fame
Hall
jacket.
of Fame, absolutely, first ballot.
Well, winning games is not all the Chargers are doing because Philip Rivers is expecting his 9th child, so they're certainly doing other things.
Seriously?
9th child. Unbelievable. There should be a freaking reality show about Philip Rivers' family.
Same woman?
I assume. I
Poor
think.
lady.
Yeah. Good
Man,
God.
that's the Holland Tunnel at this point.
Showing our further
What do
respect.
you want for free?
It's a good point. But yeah, AJ Green's out. Bengals are done. They've been done all season, really. Chargers, big win over the Steelers. Have themselves right there in the hunt. If it wasn't for the fact that the Chiefs are having such an amazing season, we'd be talking a lot more about the Chargers.
Oh, and I predicted last week that this kid, Johnny Jackson, or whatever his name is, the third string running back,
Check the tape.
would take Gordon's place, and he sure came through. He didn't have a lot of yards, but he was very instrumental in the win. Good for me.
We like to. We don't.
We don't get many wins.
Right. So when we do get a win, we like to brag the hell out of it.
Woo!
Lions at Cardinals, and Cardinals are still in the race for worst team. I don't care if they beat a Packers team that is reeling. The Cardinals still have a shot at blowing the season and getting a second or third pick. Oh, sorry, with the Chargers, I forgot to say Joey Bosa's return could be a big help
okay.
too.
Is
So-
Gordon coming back soon?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
We should read
It's
more.
Tuesday and we're semi-drunk. Lions. We got Lions at the Cardinals. Josh Rosen did not play all that great in that game. I'd be giving the Cardinals a much better chance in this. Cardinals are minus 135 net points, so points for, points against kind of thing. And the Lions are surprisingly having a horrible season, but they're only minus 62 in net points. That tells me that the Lions play teams tougher and that the Lions are a better team overall on both sides of the ball. I'm going with the Lions in this one.
And here's one of my upsets. I'm taking the Cardinals. You know what? That was a win for the ages for that franchise, in my opinion, other than the Super Bowl. Who goes to Lambeau
Well,
and
they
wins?
didn't win. They didn't win the Super Bowl.
Didn't Kurt Warner win with the...
No, they lost to the Steelers.
Oh, shit.
He's 57. I'm 52. It's hard, folks.
They didn't win the Super Bowl?
No, they were leading, and then Joey Porter had
had the pick.
the most
99-yard longest interception return in the history of God.
and one of the best freaking plays in Super Bowl history. But everyone else is talking about what's his name with the toe drag catch. Please, a 99-yard pickoff where you outrun Larry Fitzgerald to the corner of the end zone to flip to make like a 14-point difference versus a toe drag catch. Please, who was that? The guy
If
who's
we
the guy
could
that
edit, I wouldn't have said what I said.
Help me. Who was the guy that shot himself in the leg at the
Plaxico.
Yeah, wasn't it Plaxico Burress that made that toe drag catch?
Texaco Burris, yeah.
All right, sorry. Let's go.
Anyway, that's a franchise win right there. Not many people go into Lambeau against an Aaron Rodgers and win. Yeah, you come back, you're going to lose every week is the expectation. The Lions aren't good.
No, they're not.
The Lions are terrible. Why not the Cardinals? I'm taking the Cardinals.
Okay, Steelers at Raiders, and the Raiders give the Steelers the rest, even with 17 late useless points last week. I'm burping, folks. I'm sorry. The Raiders are one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. They're in a battle with San Francisco for the first pick. I'm sure Gruden wants them to play hard, but he hasn't managed to get them to play hard all year. He got rid of all the talent on that team who have gone on to have major impacts on the teams that they've gone to. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they really have. So I think the Steelers bounce back easily in this one. And
Yeah,
I think the Raiders have a lot of trouble scoring.
not much to talk about. Even though Big Ben is starting to show his age, big time here. It's the Steelers.
Okay. My personal game of the week here, we've got Eagles at Cowboys. This is one of those ones where I circled one team and then crossed it out and then circled another team.
It's true. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it is true. The Cowboys D seems to have rounded into shape even without Sean Lee. So you've got Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, and the question is, can they stop Zach Ertz? It was painful to watch Jason Witten doing the announcing while Ertz is on pace to beat his record.
While he holds up a picture of, I watched you growing up, Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
I mean, how old is Witten?
Um,
I watched you growing up.
Witten was cute though. Like Witten was like, I studied his film. Like he's one of the guys, the young guys that I respect. Like, and he did the old records are made to be broken. But deep down, I'm a petty human being. If I had a freaking record, I never had one, but if I had one, I would shoot. I would be up there in a sniper rifle. When Ertz was at like 108, I'd be up in the stadium lights with a sniper rifle going, that's the end of you.
The comments made by Steve Brown are not absolutely the opinion of the rest of the Electric Football Show.
Yeah, please don't send out like the Secret Service for me or anything. But so it's a question of can Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith stop Zach Ertz? And can the Cowboys O-line hold up against the pressure that the Eagles are now starting to bring again? Wentz looked good on the move yesterday, but the Cowboys are at home with a long rest, getting to prepare for the Eagles for a few extra days. Eagles are on a short week, traveling. I got to take the Cowboys in this as much as it pains me.
2 words, Darren Sproles.
Yeah, no, having him back is huge. We love
That
that
guy changes the game, and you know what? Philadelphia is the defending champ. The Cowboys' wins have not been amazing in my eyes, and I think the Eagles.
Last week's win was impressive, though. They beat the Saints. They held the Saints to 10. That's impressive.
That's impressive. It's one game, and you're home. I don't know. It's not a body of work. I think Phillies might be on the upswing here. And again, to me, it's a week of upsets. This is the kind of time when teams that might be out of it are going to beat teams that are in it, and teams that are fighting. If the Eagles win, they're tied for the division.
Oh yeah,
lead.
This is the division.
I take the Eagles here.
This is the division right here. If
Yep.
the Eagles lose this game, Cowboys have the division.
Yep.
Rams at Chicago, also potential game of the weeker. But I got to tell you, I looked at this. The Rams' only loss was to the Saints, and it was only by 10. They have wins over Chargers, Vikings, Seahawks twice, Broncos, Packers, and Chiefs. That's impressive. If you look at strength of schedule, teams, the wins those teams have, oh my God. I mean, you're 11-1 with that run. That is impressive as hell. Whereas Chicago's key wins have been over the Vikings and over the Seahawks. Not nearly as impressive a schedule. So I am taking the Rams to go on the road. Defensive MVP of the year honors are up in this game where Aaron Donald versus Khalil Mack. Take your choice. Do you like the disruptive interior defensive lineman or the, knock the ball loose on the or get a sack on the most important play of the game for the Chicago defense last week and every week that he plays, Khalil Mack? I like the Rams to win this, and I actually think the Rams are going to win this fairly easily.
I do too. I'm not sure Trubisky is back.
I think he's going to be back.
Okay, so he's coming off of 2 to 3 weeks of not playing, and then coming back to playing arguably one of the best teams in the league. Gurley had 15 touchdowns. I had no idea. I mean, what other running back is even in that class this year? It's
not Kareem Hunt.
Nobody, well, not anymore. But that's a phenomenal number for a running back in a pass-happy league. And this is the Rams' greatest show on turf, part 2, in my opinion. I don't think the Bears can keep up with them offensively. I think they'll temper the Rams' score. I don't think the Rams are going to go score for 45. But certainly I'm sensing a 28-17 game here because the Rams' defense at least is on par with what Chicago can do.
Oh, yeah.
And
if not better.
And a much better offense. So I'm saying like 28-17 17.
There you go.
Rammies.
And we finish with my Vikes against Seattle. And the only good thing I can say about this season is the Vikes have been on TV an awful lot. Unfortunately, we tend to lose those games. As I said earlier, we were a late game. We saw Chicago get upset by the Giants in a hell of an exciting game, I got to tell you. And what did we do? We went out flat, and we ended up with, it was a turnover on downs, interception to end a game that we were losing by 14 points. That's not the way championship teams play. It's just not. We haven't shown that fight. I thought this was going to be
Thielen looked like he was going to beat up Bill Belichick.
I like Adam Thielen with a
I do
little
too.
fire. And Dalvin Cook has shown a little bit more than he had in the past. Cousins had a fairly bad end to that game. He's had a decent season, but it certainly hasn't been an $84 million upgrade on Case Keenum. What can you say? If Brady can get 1,000 yards rushing against us, what's Russell Wilson going to get? Did you see the little Brady tributes? That was clever. It was cute. No, I'm serious. I like Barry Sanders and Terrell Davis out there making a little fun of Brady. I liked it. Maybe you did.
Just see the down. He actually went a yard so he wouldn't lose a yard and have 999. That's what you're worried about? Selfish.
I'm sure he's going to get another yard or two in the next 3 or 4 years.
I admire Brady, and I hate his fucking guts.
I admire Brady. I do. So Seahawks at home, they take it to a 4-game winning streak. They beat the Vikings. The Vikings just roll over and show our parts.
No, I say no.
Don't hurt us.
The Seahawks have the #1 running game according to the NFL. Come on. You've got running backs in this league. Kamara, the former chief known as Kareem Hunt, or free agent known as like Mareem Munt.
Todd Gurley.
And
Adrian Peterson ripping off 9.
Oh,
talk about
Adrian.
All right, to the old guys: Gates, Peterson, and Sproles.
Holy crap.
Electric football and its 50 viewers give you a
Peterson should go in the Hall of Fame just on that run. How does that old man outrun the entire defense?
I thought he was going to keep running right to Canton.
They fitted him with the jacket on the way in the tunnel.
Forrest Gump style. There's a tailor running next to him going, I can get this on you.
Yeah, the Seahawks are on the way up as far as wins and everything go. But since I'm picking upsets this week anyway, I'm going to take Minnesota. They have the better defense. They have the better passing game. Yeah, it's Seattle.
How many sacks did we have against Brady? None.
But you know what? You can't count a Belichick coach team against anything. They're ridiculous. You can't go.
Our vaunted defense has not been as vaunted.
It's not vaunted. It's not even haunted. But at least in this game, and I know it's tough to win in Seattle, but Seattle's not that good. They're not that good.
Russell Wilson gets it done.
Upset week. It's the Vikings. You can put all your money on that. No one said ever.
Please don't. Electric football. Comments. We'll comment back.
Andrew, hey, thanks for the shout-outs. We'll shout out back to you. Could you stop doing your videos in the bathroom, though? It's kind of getting embarrassing.
That would be Andrew Warren. Or Root Beer, as we like to call it.
Root Beer. See you next week.